Hello and welcome to Pirate Radio tonight, guys. This is, of course, our second podcast. I am Greg. Joining me tonight is Commander X and DJC. And you're here to listen to us just chat random bullshit about the TF2 scene. We're actually going to start over the pond as the NA scene was last week, so we're going to let them have a bit more of a spotlight, jump in first. So we're going to jump straight into the match of the week really last week, which was Quantic versus Mix-Up. Of course, Quantic versus Mix-Up the previous week was on Gravel Pit, which went in Mix-Up's favour, 2-0. It was pretty much a roll in my books to them. It felt like Quantic just weren't drilled enough. So of course this week Quantic came right back and actually took the map. I think it was 5-3, 5-2. I'm not 100% sure it was, 5-2. So DJC, do you want to jump in and give us your analysis of the game?
So yeah, CP Snakewater is a pretty demo and scout dominant map, and Quantic have probably the best combination of scouts and demo with Sizer, Clockwork, and Banny. But what really made the difference is what I noticed about Platinum when I was casting the last ESEA LAN where he played demo was that he's always out of position, like constantly. A few times where he gets so out of position that you can notice when he's like, oh, I'm going to go sticky the forward spawn as they're capping mid and are going to get the other forward spawn. It's not really useful. What really fucks the team and fucks Platinum is that he's always 5, 6, 7 steps too forward, taking too much spam. Like, there was one time in specific where he was too far forward by just a few steps, takes like 4 rockets and 2 stickies and dies, and it's like, oh, well, now Mix-Up have to back off and lose mid entirely. Good job, Platinum.
Yeah, I feel that we should, at this moment in time, highlight Moose's error. I think it was Moose, wasn't it?
It was Steph, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to paint a picture for you guys, just so you know. So CP Snakewater, for those who haven't watched the game, okay? And Quantic are pushing out from second to third. Scout Moose back cap second. You know, good job. He's done that, and nobody's spawning. Okay, he runs to last. He's thinking, yes, I've got this. Runs onto the point, looking at the wall, taunts. Okay, and CB runs out of bottom and just starts firing needles at him. And then, as he gets onto the point, Uber saws Moose. The point's probably, less than half a second? Maybe less than a second away from being capped. And CB pulls out this magical clutch. Of course, if Moose hadn't taunted on the point like an idiot, he would have capped it.
It was such an easy kill for Moose, and he just was like, oh, I'm going to taunt because this is a sure win. And then, I don't think anybody expected CB to hit enough needles there, even on the taunting player, but it happened in the end, so...
So I just thought
it was a bit embarrassing.
I have to highlight that. It was quite funny, which I think it was actually 2-1 at that point to Quantic. So if Moose had capped that, 2-all might have been a lot of it, a much different scoreline, especially went 3-1 into half time. So it's a bit of a shame on Mix-Up's half, or Mix-Up's part even. But of course, they did pull out some magical clutches. For example, I think Harbler pulled out something bullshit. I didn't actually see it myself. Commander, do you want to go into that one?
Mix-Up were defending last, one of the two.
Defending, I think it was, yeah.
He was on like the truck on the right side of spawn. He's on about 80%. Surfs a rocket all the way around to the little crack just on the left side of a point. Through that door, Uber saws someone, gets 100%, pops it, saves the point completely. Harblue's just twice as good as anyone else at Medic in America at the moment.
That's because every Medic in America is shit except for Harblu, pretty much. I mean, it looks like Harblue's playing well in all these games. What's really scary is that Harblu doesn't actually give a shit right now, and he's not going to care until LAN comes up. He pretty much goes for so many random needle kills and so many Uber saws right now during the regular season.
I've noticed that.
Yeah, just imagine how much better it's going to be when LAN comes and Harblu's actually taking it seriously to try to win the prize.
Yes, indeed. So that does put both those teams up. I think it's 8-1. It might be 9-1. It must be 9-1 in fact, because they play 2 maps a week, don't they? So both those teams have gone to 9-1 at the top of the table. I don't actually know who they have to play overall, so I think they'll probably in theory end up 15-1 by the end of the season. But of course, there are some more games going on at the moment over there with ESEA. Well, of course, they send top 4 teams to LAN, so the playoffs going to top 4. And at the moment, that 4th spot is up for really, really high contention. Thanks to HRG, pretty much, this week. They took the win off both Ducks and 51, or Area 51, who are both the other two teams. They were the other two teams in contention for that 4th spot. So I think it's put Ducks and 51 at 5-5, and HRG are currently at 4-6. I don't know if you saw any of that or got any more to say to that about that even, DJC.
The High Rollers game versus 51 was really impressive. I would just like to give a little shout out to the scout for High Rollers Gaming, Anonymous, also known as Snacks, who went like 30-9 in that game with like 15 assists. Just went fucking crazy. Like, nobody realizes how good Mouse is at scout. But I think after that game, he's going to start getting some attention. But right now, the race for that playoff spot's pretty tight. Experiment are in 3rd place at 6-4, which isn't that far ahead. But they do have like 2 pretty easy matches this week. I think they play Snooplicity and the Ducks, which should be 2 wins and put them at 8-4 and have a pretty secure hold. But then 51 and Ducks at 5-5, probably both going to go 1-1 this week. Ducks might actually lose both, probably going to lose both. And High Rollers look like they're going to go 1-1 as well, which will put 51 at 6-6 in the 4th spot, with the Ducks and High Rollers at 5-7, just a little bit back. So it's looking pretty close for the last couple of games here.
Right. Do you know, with it being stand-in week, which of course is a new 3 CP map, which you have to like hold all 3 points at the same time, very scout-dependent map, and I'm going to see pain trains on every single person in that. But do you think that some teams might sneak a win against the likes of Experiment, Quantic, Mix-Up this week?
I don't think that Quantic or Mix-Up will be losing any rounds that they wouldn't otherwise expect to. I think from what I know, Experiment are trying like some weird things on the map, like branching out their strategy. They're always like trying to come up with new different things to do, so I could see them maybe losing a few rounds, probably not any game. It's not, stand-in's like a really weird map. It's not like there's sudden maps like you can have Weeble, who plays for Snooplicity, could win entire games by himself just with his sniping, like with off-classing, but stand-in doesn't really have any amazing off-classing potential in it. It's not really that different of a map. It's not like as strategically based as you might think. So it'll turn into pretty much the better teams will win, and there's not going to be like some... It's not going to be like Ducks can come up with some amazing strategy to beat Experiment or anything.
Okay, that's fair enough. So I think that should cover up all our talk about the NA scene at the moment. That is the most important thing in my books. With that is the 4th land spot, and I'd love to see how that develops coming into the second half of the season. And so I'm going to move. We should all move back over the pond, and we're going to actually talk straight about the predictions for our playoffs and the playoff timing. So of course the playoffs, Crack Clan versus Epsilon, is now happening on Tuesday. Apparently, I'm not 100% on this because they first of all they organised it for the Thursday, which is the 15th, which is the last day we as Infused can play until the 3rd of January or something along those lines. So they've now tried to move it to the Tuesday, I think, and whether that's confirmed or not, I'm not 100%. But if they've moved it to Tuesday, the final will then be the Thursday, so should be good this week. And I won't bother giving my prediction or anything like that because obviously Infused to win, yeah, easy mode. So do you guys want to jump in? Let me know how you think it's going to go.
Crack Clan going to cause the upset. Repeat of ESL final season. Going to beat Epsilon. Going to beat you in the final. Presuming they get a good Merc, which I can't imagine they won't get a good Merc for the final.
Okay, so would they have done it last week when I was going to play for them?
No.
God, no, Jesus Christ.
I've seen you Merc before, no.
I've seen you play normally for Infused before, and the answer would say the same. I'm thinking that, I don't know, it's going to be close between you and Epsilon, Greg. It's going to come down to whether you or Nox is worse, and that's a 50-50, dude. I could flip coins, I could flip so many coins, and it would come up Nox one day and Greg the other, just over and over, so... I think right now, my gut wants to go with that Epsilon are gonna destroy you guys. Like, really embarrassing. You're gonna fucking cry afterward.
I'll be live on air next week crying with DJC ripping into me.
Okay. That's every week, though.
So, there's 3 of us here. We've all gone with different teams. You know, is that a bit conservative? But we'll have to wait and see what happens this week. Going on from that, we are actually going to quickly talk about the Yo-Yo Tech versus Equilibrium playoff/relegation game, which at the moment I talked to Hat earlier in the week, and he said that they have no idea what's going on with Equilibrium. And Commander X has been doing a little bit of gossiping at the moment.
Bit of research.
Yeah, a bit of research, of course. Yeah. That's what you call it, isn't it?
Hard at work here, yeah.
So do you want to dive into this possible new lineup and let us know what the problems with Equilibrium are?
Basically, Toda's been kicked for raging, from what I hear, which is
Fuck you, Toda! Woo!
Exactly. half of the team, including Calho, Volume, and Hurricane, have split off to make this new Portuguese team that are quite up and coming, called, I can't say this, Bacalhau, maybe, with like Skadas, not Cadus, Skadas with an S, who's just some random unknown Portuguese guy. Kyler for fun, also from Equilibrium, and Marku, some Div 5 scout who's beasting it. And basically, they're not going to play the playoff, they say, but I've been told Haunter and some others might be trying to assemble some sort of Portuguese mix. Play them.
This is what Haunter does. Like, every time that we play Haunter in a late night mix, he always starts off with like a really bad team, and then as they start losing more and more, he starts calling in the Portuguese reserves. Like, all of the Prem players. Like, coins will come in midway through a fucking mix, and it's like, oh god, really, Haunter, you care this much? And I can just see, like, every good player from Portugal coming to play this official versus Yo-Yo Tech, like, Haunter, and Coins, and,
You've listed all the Portuguese. Exhausted that vast list there.
Okay, so do you think Haunter will bring in a good enough mixed team to defeat Yo-Yo Tech and hold on to that Prem spot?
No.
What the fuck?
No.
Worth a try, man, come on.
Because the second best Portuguese demoman is like Reaper, and he's like Div 2/1.
Reaper, who was on a fucking team with Buffalo Bill, whose most famous moment in TF2 is going 1-13 in official. So like, I don't really think Reaper or Reapy or whatever is going to do much work in an official.
You never know. You could have a good day.
Yeah, those happen so often.
Cyber had a good day in the playoffs. Okay.
Oh, I think we've exhausted our rinsing of the Portuguese scene right there. So, of course, all our predictions, Yo-Yo Tech going to be Prem next season, so congratulations to that. You basically don't even need to play it, do you? Like, pretty easy game. Then going into more of the like team lineups, of course, last week we did actually say that the Jackal had left Dignitas, and we actually knew that Kaina was already joining, but I don't think we actually brought it up, so we were talking about Byte joining and stuff like that. So in actual fact, Kainao has now joined, and because of that, I think Taimu's now officially rage quit TF2. Apparently he thought he was going to dive in and take that medic spot straight into
TF2's dead, everyone. TF2's dead. Taimu's gone. There's nothing left to play for anyone. There's no one to aspire to.
The fourth, the third, the fifth time Taimu's rage quit? Are we going to see another, like, odd fucking 5 Spaniard team come up in a few months with Taimu being medic and being a fat baby again? Like, I don't know how many times we're going to give Taimu a chance to come be a whiny little bitch and try to be Prem again. Like, it's getting tiresome at this point.
There was a quote he said to everyone at Exotic last season when they were playing, I'm never playing Div 1 again, I'm just not going to do it.
Well, he's never going to play Prem again, but that's not really his choice, so...
And that's, as Skeege points out in chat, Div 2 fits Taimu fine. Yeah, I think that's probably about right, isn't it?
Yeah, fair. Seems fair.
So we're going to move on to the other Finnish, the Prem Finnish team. Of course, it's just Seacrash, which this week has had a bit of like roster rumbling, and just some people have quit and stuff like that. I'll go into that quickly in just a second. I just want to slate Torden quickly for stealing our thunder with that by posting his team news the other day. Like, he posted up without the Seacrash stuff on it, and me and Commander were like, yes, we've still got this scoop, guys, it's still ours. And then he edits in Seacrash, like, oh, why, Torden? We'd have got it right here, right now.
Exclusive, man.
Torden's just upset, Greg. He can feel your hot breath on the back of his neck, and it's for a different reason this time.
Alright, well, Commander, do you want to go into the Seacrash roster changes and who's possible lining up as fit into the positions and stuff?
Yes, Parvy's quit due to poor Mumble atmosphere, and he just can't be bothered anymore. So
finish, people, poor Mumble. Oh my!
I know,
Who
shocker. In comes Wordo, who all I've ever heard of him before is he's in the All-Star Finnish Highlander team. So make of that what you will. And also, Tusey's quit, left, kicked, whatever, and is apparently looking for a Div 1 team. Maybe he just feels Prem's too much pressure, too much hassle, all that, and they're currently trying Bash, Tomsy, and Setlet in what looks to be a very one-sided trial.
Yeah, one-horse race. Well, Well, I'm going to quickly talk about Weirdo first. I've heard a few things about him before from the likes of the Finnish gathers. You know, they've had their Finnish pickup bot. I've heard some good things about him previously. I think it was a while ago, probably about a couple of months ago, about that. And then Bash, of course, guys. Everyone should know Bash, who was an absolutely amazing demo. Probably before my own time, really. I mean, I think the last time he played in an actual season was AFS for some Div 3 team. Was it DJC?
He played in Cool Clan, who lost to Reg, the bad Reg.
Was he on classing?
Yeah, he was playing demo. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. So do you think these pickups would be any good, DJC?
I don't know who the fuck Weirdo is. What are you asking me that? Like, really?
Okay.
Like, if they get Bash, it's probably okay, but he hasn't played in however fucking long. I don't know who the fuck Tomsy and Setload are. Do you think I follow Div 3, Craig? Like, what the fuck?
Okay. Let's look at it a different way. So Seacraft before, where a lot of people would have like deemed them one of the best like team working teams. You know, maybe their DM isn't as high as other teams in Prem, but their teamwork carries them through. Well, dropping the likes of Parvi, dropping to say the pocket as such, or part of the pocket, will that change a huge amount in that team? Do you think?
If Bash plays how he used to play, they'll be absolutely fine. It's just whether or not Bash comes back on form, or is just going to look really rusty and out of place like some people do when they come back from a huge break from TF2 and never pick it up to the same level.
Okay, that's fair enough there. And I suppose Moore is always, he's a really, really good caller, so he should be able to rein everybody in under his control. It might take the time before now and the next season for them to do it, plus find all the players, but hopefully they'll be able to come back in the next season pretty strong. I wouldn't like to see them fold, that's for certain, and I doubt they will. DJC I think has actually just quickly popped AFK, so while we're here, we might as well keep moving on to the next team. So of course, Enigma, who are illegal as such, guys. I'm sure you've heard of them, like the Tsar and stuff like that. They've now officially folded. I don't know why, but maybe there's some speculation there with Tusay looking for a Div 1 team, and Parvi, getting a bit annoyed with the raging and the comms. Maybe they'll drop down to the Div 1 and reform a new illegal lineup. What do you think to that, Commander?
I mean, the same thing that happens pretty much every season.
Yeah.
Finnish players will rage quit their team, then reform with effectively the same team with maybe a couple of new players, and then kick the couple of new players because they weren't as good as the old players, and convince the old players to come back again, like Ollie and Fluffy and stuff. And we're just right back where they started again,
and just like continue a circle around.
I mean, it seems to keep them entertained, keeps them busy, keeps them out of other teams. So let the Finns keep their incestual team swapping going on.
All right, well that's cool. Of course, Torden did post earlier, or the other day, that Broder have had a few lineup changes. It's who's taken a step back? It's Famba, isn't it? That's decided to take a step back from TF2. So they've just, promoted, or granted, got themselves that promotion spot. They're now in Prem, and they're going to have to fiddle their lineup a little bit between now and next season. So I think it's pretty much official that Leon's joined them. It is official, isn't it,
Yeah,
Commander?
He's tagged up. Yeah, tagged up, okay. Everything, all agreed, etc., etc.
So Leon, of course, being ex-Team Thermal Take Soldier / Fackle Brigade, do you think this is a good move for Broder? Will he be able to bring some more stability to the team?
Well, it's a good move. They were only going to pick up someone in sort of that inner circle of friends. And
yeah, the Norwegian style.
Yeah, sort of Norwegian, Swedish hybrid kind of thing. And Leon's worked from loads before. He hangs out with them all the time. It was an obvious pickup. It was just how they can fill the scout spot. And if Jukebox or Zeb are prepared to go scout, it should be no problem. And Jukebox hits everything as any class anyway, so I can't see it being a problem.
Yeah, so it was actually earlier, I think, when we played, was it last week? We played them and Zebo was playing Scout, I think, instead, so they actually had Zebo and Prozac on Scout, so it didn't work too badly, but I don't think it's, as Prem, they need to develop a lot more as a Scout pair. Prozac, this will be his first season in Prem, having only been Div 1 before, especially when he used to play in PX, which, he never played with the same scout a lot, so it was always just, him playing for himself. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes in Prem as that team develops together, especially Zebo moving to another class. I think he played Demo, then went to Soldier, and now is Scout, so a bit of a weird class movements there from him.
Bit of a jack of all trades, master of none.
Yes, indeed. So, but it's still good news for Broder. Getting Leon in is definitely a good soldier. Did he play? He played roaming before, didn't he? So
He played, yes, very much so.
So-
I don't know. I'm not sure. Broder sort of play with the soldiers a bit more. It's more of a demo in that pocket. It's like Mackerson and Torden are just stuck together for obvious reasons because Mackie carries. Why wouldn't you give them all the heals? But I don't know. It should work out. They'll be able to work something out. Torden will figure out how to make it work.
yeah, and it feels like a shame that DJC isn't here now because I'm pretty sure he doesn't actually like Leon as a soldier very much. So
Leave Leon alone. He's solid. Leon's solid.
You're good mates with him. I don't know whether he's a top prem soldier, but he's definitely probably where Broder are now. I'd have thought it would suit him down to the ground. I'd like to see DJC here though. It's a shame he isn't. But as it is, we'll move on to the next topic, and maybe when DJC gets back, we'll let him have a little go at Leon. Leon can't get away with that. Come on.
Yeah, Leon's fine. Leon's solid.
So
story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay. So the next big news, which just makes me facepalm, in all honesty. Why? Whoever listens to this guy? Of course, it is Black Fogger. If you guys don't know who he is the the CEO as such of Blight Gaming, and Blight have now picked up a TF2 team. And why? Just why? I was reading earlier. There's actually a CAD Red post that Gonzo did a while ago. Just all the comments from 1 year of all the teams that he had let down. It's promising. So basically, like 2 months before the event, oh, I promised to send you to here. Oh, I can't. My credit card's not. I don't have my credit card. I got stolen. So 3 to 5 working days before I get that. Oh, 3 to 5 working days before I pay for my air miles. Oh, I had some information filled in wrong. And then 2 weeks before the event, he goes AFK for 2 days, and they come back to him and go, "What the fuck is going on?" And then he just goes, "Oh, sorry, I don't have the money to pay for you." Like, what the fuck? He does that all the time to every single team he has, pretty much. Why would anybody in their right minds go to the Blight Gaming? And I'm sorry, Thai, Bash, you played with them before, you played in a team for him before. Like, surely you've had this problem. Fair enough, you might have thought it was Marco instead, because obviously Marco had some issues going on there, didn't he, when he was the leader of that team. But I honestly, I have no idea why they would ever go back to that. And on the same note, I'm quite glad that Quinn himself, I don't know if you've noticed, but he's put his foot down and said, "No, I'm not playing for that fucking shit organisation." And he said he's going to pay for himself to go everywhere, and he's not tagging up. He'd probably wear a Quinn TV or Quinn V shirt, won't he? So, knowing him, yeah.
Yeah, it's... You go, Rich.
The best thing about Black Fogger is the fact that I think he still owes Smacka like $600 for the LAN 2-3 seasons ago. Like, Smacka paid for everything because Black Fogger didn't actually. He lied about it because that's what Black Fogger does. And then he still hasn't paid Smacka the several $100s he owes him for paying for everything and covering his worthless lying ass. And it's like, I've talked to, I think it was, Moore was in a Blight team, wasn't he? Like, very briefly, like half a season maybe before they died. And Moore basically said the same thing that everyone else says, that Black Fogger never follows through on anything. He promises everything and then gives nothing. And it's like, I don't understand why anybody in this game where, like, there's nothing you can actually get out of a sponsor money-wise, it's going to be interesting. It's not like there's any sponsors who are actually going to give you money directly. It's always just going to be sponsors who are like, yeah, you can have a server and a mumble, and I'll give you LAN money, wink, wink, and then it never fucking happens. It's like, why would you want to associate yourself with Black Fogger and Blight after he's fucked over so many dumb teams?
Indeed, it's just all these gullible players over and over again. And I actually PM'd Gonzo earlier today about it, and he just said, "Oh, what's he done now?" I'm just like, "Oh, he's just picked up another gullible team," and he's just like, "Oh, standard Black Fogger stuff." Then it's so, like, I don't understand how it's not spread to everyone, especially a team that's played under the Blight name before. I don't know whether they got out of, because they became button bashers for a bit, didn't they? So I don't know if they got out of it before Blight fucked them over, but whatever. It's so bullshit. And actually, DJC, we've already gone past the Broder / Dr. Leon stuff, so I don't know if you want to chime in on that now that we've kind of covered the Blight stuff.
Broder... they're going to be in the same position they were in before, where they were like too good for Div 1 and bad and not like too bad for Prem. And it's the same situation that Leon's previous team was, where Fackle Brigade was too good for Div 1, not good enough for Prem until like they got Bash and Fishu and everybody. And Leon's a big part of that problem. Like, if you're going to go into Prem, why would you pick up someone who wasn't good enough for Prem, and who the only reason he was still in his team was because he and X-Fame were real life friends? It's like Birder are pretty much resigning themselves to getting relegated next season back to Div 1, and then they'll get promoted again the season after that, and then relegated again the season after that. What am I talking about? TF2's not gonna last that fucking long.
Who else would they have picked up, though?
I don't know. Fucking anybody's better. It's like TF2 teams have this awful habit of just retreading people who were never good enough in the first place, or if they don't do that, they'll just pick up people who aren't good enough now, like who have quote-unquote potential that aren't actually that potential, you know? It's like, I don't know who there is to pick up. There's like teams that are going to fold in the next 2 months. There's probably soldiers who are going to come back. I mean, fuck, I'd rather pick up Ralliator for the 2 months or whatever he's going to be available than Dr. Leon, because at least Ralliator occasionally can hit a rocket.
Yeah, but then it is, as we said, it was, they're a Swedish, Norwegian lineup. I don't know where Ralliator's from, but they've
South
always wanted
Africa.
he wants to keep the same, from the same region and stuff like that, so they all have a bit more in common, speak the same languages, stuff like that.
That's stupid though, because Torden can't not try hard. It's not in his blood. Like, he was gonna soldier for a while, and then he realized he wasn't good enough at soldier to do anything but like Div 2, so he went back to medic so he'd be in a better team to try and win. And then they pick up someone who is the antithesis of winning in Dr. Leon. Like, it's stupid. They're going to have a season. It's going to be what happened last time, where Torden raged so much that fucking Snice and Waco didn't want to play with him anymore. I don't know who are going to be the two casualties this season who don't want to deal with Torden's bullshit anymore, but there's going to be casualties.
I reckon Zebasai. That's my prediction.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think he has quite a lot of fun.
Leon's used to getting raged at.
On the same talking point, would you not maybe pick up X-Fane above him? Above Dr. Leon?
I don't think X-Fane can actually play, but if X-Fane could play, that's such an easy fucking choice, holy shit. So I would, if my two choices were Dr. Leon or X-Fane, I would be sucking X-Fane's dick so hard to get him to come. And I don't mean like I wouldn't be praising him. I would literally fly to the Netherlands and blow him.
Torden and X-Fane live in the same city. They could do that all the time anyway.
Yeah, man. Like, it's fucking easy. It's like a bus trip. You could probably walk it. Get a nice workout and then swallow some calm and go back home. It's a fucking nice Sunday.
Alright, let's move on from blowing X-Fane, shall we? And
That really is a disgusting thought.
So we've only got one more team news. It's just a rebuilding of IDK. I think Kiwi's decided to go and do it again. Honestly, it's just going to happen. In my books, it's just going to be exactly the same as the previous lineups, where they've got, let's rebuild. Oh, a couple of people have left. Let's rebuild again. Oh, a couple of people left. Let's rebuild. Oh, let's fold. Actually, no, let's rebuild again. Like, what? What's the point? Let it die. So, what was it? NBC Voxshare joined, I think, officially, and then Animal and Mineral were playing today as well. I don't know. I don't think that team would last until the next season. You'll see every one of those players in a different team come the next official ETF2L season.
I don't think you'll see Huey in another team, because nobody else is going to want to pick Huey up, but I can't imagine that Ziggy is going to stick with TF2 again. I mean, I love Ziggy. He's in my American team. Luckily, he's never going to listen to this, so it's never going to get back to him.
He's listening in at the moment.
Is he? What's up, Ziggy?
Yeah.
Hey, mate. Sorry, Ziggy, but you kind of never play TF2 and never really stick with it. Apologies, mate, but it happens. I think even in Ziggy's recruitment thread, he said that he's like a backup until I-45, even. But
he just likes for LAN events. He's not.
Yeah.
On a slightly related note, Spari from Exotic Gaming is most likely quitting TF2, so there's a Demoman spot. They might pick up Huey. I wouldn't put money on it as for manager, but I wouldn't.
Yeah. Definitely.
Would they not try and bring in? Oh, sorry, you go, man.
He's most certainly
someone good. Someone good, Greg?
I was gonna say, with what Cadus is trying to do now? Would you not try and steal him away from that rubbish team he's joining? And just get Cadus and Boomy and be like, look at that, decent team.
What would you rather do, Greg? Would you rather play with fucking Evoker who whines all game, or I don't even know who's in Mark's team. Gibbs, Adidas, Nor,
Banter. Maybe
the option here is that everyone involved just quit, because that sounds better than either of those teams, honestly.
You're suggesting literally about 20 people just quit TF2 because it's better than any of those.
It wouldn't be any different from every other off-season.
That cast would be awful.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's all our team gossip for tonight, guys. We are going to move now on to the top 10, of course, which came out, I think, earlier in the week.
Yo, why the fuck is Gear gonna spit diarrhea all over Kadrid acting like he's smart? Like, those comments are fucking embarrassing.
He's having an argument with Mike.
I know,
he's literally arguing with a child.
The only time I've ever seen anyone else argue with Mike was Marco, who's like the most overly emotional, immature person in this community, and I fucking yelled at him about it because it's so stupid. Like, I don't have anything personally against Mike, but if you're playing TF2 as an adult and you see Mike, who's 16, is he 17 yet? No, I don't think he is. Some 16-year-old kid making fun of you or saying something, are you really gonna get that mad about it that you have to post the fucking dribble, the bullshit that Gear posted, getting so mad about ETF2's rules?
Not in Gear for the Fair Play Award.
I know, like, what the fuck? What is wrong with that team that they've picked up such, little babies in it? I don't understand. Like, Nox with his fucking shit at LAN where he's like, GG, free round. It's like, what the fuck? Oh my god.
Oh god. Yeah, it's that team was built to be first, wasn't it? And when they're not first, they cry like babies, is what it seems like to me. So, what I just love is the fact that Cadus was too lazy to write his comment in time, basically. Gonzo gave me a time limit of 11 PM. Cadus comes back to me at 2 AM going, here's my post. Oh, it's up now, Cadus, don't worry about it. And basically, Dunk wrote Cadus's panelist thing just to wind Gear up. Have you read it? It's like...
I haven't, no.
So you just go to the page 2 and just read the Cadus comment. It's so hilarious.
It becomes even worse now. Back when I was doing TF2 Street, when I made fun of Rats or whatever the all-German team at the time was, and for months afterwards I got fucking comments on the blog like, oh, Dunk, you fucking idiot, you don't know anything. Like, the Germans hate Dunk so much. So having Dunk troll the Germans explicitly is hilarious. Like, that's such a brilliant idea, and I'm so glad it happened. Especially because Gear overreacted so much. It's a fucking Kadrid top 10. Nobody actually cares. Maybe Slick cares. Maybe Slick takes it back to Epsilon and is like, yeah, look at this, look at me, I voted for us in the top 10, and now we're number 1. I don't think anybody else gives a fuck. So that Gear can get so mad about it. He even admits at one point that he probably shouldn't take a child seriously, and then he's like, yeah, but still, even though Mike is 16, he still acts 16, and that's bad.
How dare he?
How dare Mike act like the child that he is? How about you, the fucking, adult? I don't know how old Gear is, but based on the fact that he's been playing TF2 for, 11 seasons, he's probably in his mid-20s, and it's really appalling that he can act so stupid.
Hey, I just want to put it out there. I like being able to go to my management and go, look, we're number 1 in this month. It doesn't really matter.
We're number 1 in a poll that 2 of your teammates vote for.
Yeah,
that's like I voted myself top of the Medic Award.
Hey, last month Dunk put us 9th in the rankings. Yeah, so don't think that counts.
Do you think that when you take that to Infused, when you're like, look at this, man, we got voted number 1, do you think they say anything besides, yeah, nice, Greg, go away now? Like, really?
We still sponsor you?
I know, exactly. You don't have any cost to go to LAN, you're like 5 fucking UK people. Do Infuse actually ever interact with you at any point? Or is it just when you come running like, Mommy, I did well on this exam? And they're like, oh, that's nice, Greg. And then
I talk to our management, alright. Don't worry, I talk to them all the time. Yeah, fuck you then, DJC. Fuck you. Yeah, they just love the fact that it's a fucking cheap LAN for them, and it's just guaranteed win on most of the events because nobody fucking turns up, so they can just go to their sponsors. Look, we won this tournament. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, that's pretty much what they like us for.
Except when Epsilon turned up.
Hey.
And you didn't win.
I said the small tournaments, yeah?
And you even had a free round when Nox was so how the fuck did you guys not win?
God. I'm sorry, guys. It was all my fault.
Everyone knows. You don't need to apologize.
Right, so I think that's probably us wound up with the top 10. Unless you want to comment anything more about it before we move on.
Gear is fucking stupid.
Okay, and then I think the last major thing we have actually is the announcement that we have a little bit to give out. Exclusive announcement. It's not the biggest of announcements, but it's still pretty cool. Money. Oh, fuck you, DJC. I was going to build up a story and everything, and then DJC's just like, yeah, here we go. Okay, so I was actually chatting to Ratio the other night, and they've actually got money from their adverts, so they're now going to put that money into the actual next season of ETF2L. So, should actually be pretty nice. At least there's actually some prize money, and I think, was it the first, DJC, is it the first season which actually has prize money in it?
I can't remember. This will be the 11th season, and it took 11 seasons to get a prize that wasn't headsets or keyboards, so... Whew. Good job,
I don't think the AFS as well, so in actual fact it's the 12th season.
Oh yeah, true. I mean, like, ETF2L had that one season where everyone privately got really excited because Dave was in talks with fucking Multiplay, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
They could have actual money and like actual sponsorship, and then that kind of fell through, and then nobody bothered talking to anyone ever again about sponsorships, even though that was like the biggest complaint about ETF2L, was that it had no money and no backing, and it was just kind of like, yeah, we Steel Series sends us 6 fucking broken headsets every year that we can send to Epsilon, and now we have that. Now we get €1,000, excuse me. That wasn't it made off of like the ad money of ETF2L as well? So it was literally.
It was made because like one of the guys at Multiplay took over for how to sort out the ads on ETF2L, and like because of that they actually gained money. So it's not even ETF2L doing anything. It's literally the Multiplay guy that like hosts their server, hosts the website, has gone, why the fuck are you not making money off this? You get so many hits a day, and then he's gone and done it for them.
I don't want to harp every week on how incompetent some of the admins for ETF2L are, but this is fucking appalling that like ETF2L has been a really popular site, and you can make a lot of money off of the ads, and it took someone else from a different corporation to be like, hey, you guys know you can make money, right? And that'd be nice, because money is pretty good. And then nobody, like, really thought of that before, like, that never came into anyone's minds at any point, like, hey, we get a few thousand hits a day, 10,000 hits a day, whatever it is, we could probably make money if we put ads here.
Oh, well, at least they've got it now, so for the next season, they will have a prize money, or a prize pot even. I don't know what it is. Ratio wouldn't give me any numbers, but he did tell me there will be a prize pot for the next season, which is pretty awesome, to be honest. Like, I'm not going to care. Everyone fucking loves it when there's a cup that comes along that's got €500 as the prize pot. You know, everyone fucking loves it then. Why should it...
It's really sad that it's 11 seasons to get €1,000. Meanwhile, we have fucking Angel, who's probably put €1,000 into Ulti-Duo alone. Like, Angel put €1,000 up for that fucking cup that's gonna play, like, CTF well and CP Pro Lane and shit, and 11 seasons for €1,000 for 6v6?
And that's only because they stumbled across it, basically.
Yeah. This is basically like someone was walking down the street, like, whistling to himself really happily, and then he's like, oh, there's money on the ground that I'm gonna take. Nice. And, fuck, it's so dumb.
Like, it's into prize money.
Angel put up €1,000 to play CP Glacier, and we couldn't even get €1,000 over 11 seasons to play like actual 6v6. And Crasp just said in IRC, quote, I think he might have offered, which I'm assuming is referring to Angel offering to fund ETF2L. And if that was somehow turned down, oh my god.
I'd like to see that meeting. He wants to give us money, you say? Why don't we say no? I don't think we want money, you know.
I don't like money.
Money seems bad.
Even though all of our players really want money, and it would really get them to play harder and play more and make the game better, we're not going to give any money.
Don't worry. I think Crasp got the wrong gist of what we were saying. We're talking about Angel there, Crasp. of course, guys, we are actually gonna take some questions or questions after this. If you wanna get ready with anything, give us a shout in IRC now. This is pretty much coming to the end of it for us. It's actually been quite a long podcast this week. When we thought there wasn't going to be very much news at all. We were thinking it was going to be like a 20-minute one this week, and then bang, all this stuff crops up. Still pretty good, hey? And is Cross now in the channel? He's. Oh, don't worry about it. Okay, and do you want to do some shout-outs, guys, while people think of some questions to ask?
Yes, shout out to Zeke for being really in pickups the other day and entertaining me all day, and shout out to Illy for being an owl.
DJC?
No.
No. just no. Alright, I'm going to have to give a shout out to DJC for the other week. I think it was 2 weeks ago or something like that, when he was so drunk on Mumble. It was probably the most funniest I've ever seen him chatting so much bullshit about various people. I won't go into it, but I'm pretty sure there's a recording somewhere that someone's taken. Basically, I think he passed out in his chair or something along those lines, didn't you, DJ?
I made it to the couch.
Isn't the couch just behind your computer though? It's not.
It's like 10 steps. Yeah. I do have a shout out, actually, a delayed shout out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a joke, actually. Get ready for this. What happens if an owl is taught by a wolf? It learns to howl.
Oh my god.
Carry on.
Okay, so we're having a few little questions put in the RC chat at the moment. Someone's asked you, Rich, I think, do you have any thoughts on Comedian?
Oh my god.
Okay. Do we have enough time?
We do. Okay, so here, in one of the 73 different opportunities where I considered writing for Cadred, I was going to write an article that was partially devoted to Comedian. Apparently, one time, Comedian was being criticized by the rest of the vanilla TV casters, right? And this was like in their private IRC channel. And, Comedian's a pretty fucking awful caster. Let me just give you some Comedian quotes here. Comedian, in a cast, literally went, "Oh my god, what a lovely air shot in the air." Come on, man. And then, back to this criticism. So after Torden and whoever else, I'm assuming it was, criticized Comedian literally cried in real life at being called a bad caster. Which is, so disturbing and bizarre and makes no sense. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone else crying over something TF2 related. And I've always been wary of criticizing Comedian because I don't want to really be responsible for a 17, 18-year-old boy crying. But he is such a bad caster that it's impossible to not call him bad. It's impossible to not say that Comedian is a bad caster. And it's, really appalling that when someone in that reply to Pledge's, leaky vagina post the other week, and then Torden, so everyone was making fun of Comedian in the replies, and Torden goes, all right, that's enough ripping on Comedian. It's we can't criticize Comedian on vanilla, which is where he casts. It's his fucking employer, technically. Where the fuck can we criticize him if we're not allowed to criticize him directly through the organization he works for? It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, well there you go, guys. That's DJC, ripping on Comedian there. What was this other question that Honey Mustard asked, DJ, that you were saying we should answer his question first? I didn't spot it.
That was the one. I don't care about.
That was the one. Was it? So I don't know if anyone else has got any more questions. The chat is moving quite quickly. Though I'm not actually reading it very well.
I have a quick shout out to Little Cedar for destroying me last night on MGE continuously, despite being really drunk and just generally embarrassing me.
Because this was just brought up on IRC, I will say this. Comedian does put a fucking ton of effort into vanilla, and it's obviously, admirable that he does so. I think Skyride's the one who brought it up. But holy shit, just because he puts in the effort doesn't mean we should have to fucking listen to his awful casting all the time. I love that Comedian's willing to put in the effort, but you really shouldn't reward that effort by, punishing everyone else. It's really bad.
Okay, well I think that's it for tonight, guys. I'm just going to have to do one quick last shout-out, or a couple, and that's mainly over to Brad Pure in DJC's team. He's an absolute legend. He did give me a shout out on XTV and then call me a noob, so he's a noob as well. And of course, shout out to my team, all our sponsors, blah 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 blah. You know, try and get myself some ROI, maybe get Infused to actually, you know, send us somewhere. And that will be it for us tonight, and hopefully we'll see you next week. See you later. I think we will stay on here for a little bit longer on Mumble, but not for the actual podcast, because DJC is actually, I think, volunteering to do some do some impressions. So if people want to put some votes in the IRC channel of who they want an impression DJC of doing, so
please do the bite one. Please do.
So
there we go. It's pretty close. I can't.
I think at the moment it's coming between Bite and Comedian. Can you actually do a comedian impression, DJC?
There was one line that Comedian did in a cast that I can probably do a decent impersonation of. Give me a second here off mic to practice. Okay, so I think it was a TCM versus someone game, because it was Haunter that was like hiding in trash on Badlands. He was like sitting just behind the door, everyone says, and Comedian was like so astonished at seeing him there, like he was so impressed with the play, and Comedian just goes, "Oh, what a sneaky bastard he is." Like, it's the most awful fucking voice I've ever heard. Like, it was like fucking, like, my ears got raped. I know,
yeah, what Koss said.
He sounded Irish when he said it. I'm not fucking joking.
Do the bite one as well, please.
Long gas. I don't know, like, Bite... If anyone watched the fucking VOD Bite put up of Gullywash versus Relic, where you just hear Bite halfway through go like, a soldier jumps through choke, and then Haunter's playing heavy and doesn't kill him, so Bite just loses his mind and yells, "Oh, come on! How are you gonna let him do that?" And just spends like the next 30 seconds screaming about it.
Oh,
literally to exactly like that. I thought he was in the room.
Yeah.
I was a bit scared. I thought he just walked in. That was pretty good. Do you wanna tell everyone about the background to that coin story that we did last week? Because I don't think many people knew about that, DJ. Like the actual the glass table. Or do you want to save that for maybe a podcast, another podcast, instead of letting everyone know about it?
I'll tell it. I don't remember what game it was. It was like 2 years ago, but whichever team Coins was on lost a game, and Coins was so furious afterwards that he like went and punched his hand through a glass table, and it meant that he missed like their next official because he had punched through a glass table with his hand and got glass embedded in his hand.
Classic.
That's what a sane person does.
I'm getting spammed a lot. Just a quick gossip thing. Droso has just joined Yo-Yo Tech, presumably for Origo. As if they'd kicked to Vic.
Hey, now they have 4 good players. It's better.
Should we maybe like do a little segment on that and then edit it into the podcast so people on the podcast think we had a scoop?
Far too much effort.
Come on, DJ.
Do we have any volunteers to do all the work?
Yeah, we need a volunteer. Yeah, we need a volunteer to edit the Mumble chat.
Buddy.
Come on, somebody.
Skyride said he would do it, didn't he? Like a while back. Pretty sure that happened.
Okay. Yep. Skyride, we've just volunteered you. So cheers. Thank you.
I'm sure there's someone. I don't really want to talk. It's not like there's much to say about Droso and Origo. They're both like the most boring players ever. It's just that one of them's not bad.
Doesn't Hat and Droso get on really well at LAN? Bit of bromance going on.
I think so. He was pretty nice at LAN, to be honest. There was one thing I actually forgot to do on the podcast, which is actually Cadred related, guys. It's the fact that at the moment we have no writers, and Gonzo actually wants to shut down TF2 writing on Cadred. So if you do want to write for Cadred, try and keep the TF2 writing and across the whole of esports rather than just directly on Vanilla. Admirable does want to shut it down completely and will probably write a farewell post if nobody does do anything, but we do want to try and keep TF2 at least alive for another year. Without Cadred, I reckon it's going to die double time as quickly, whatever the fuck I'm trying to say. You know what I mean.
What does Cadred actually, like, you say that it's going to die without Cadred, but what does Cadred actually do for TF2?
He gives a lot more exposure to a lot more people about TF2. Gives exposure to the organisations rather than just dedicated to the TF2 community, the whole of the Cadbred community sees say Dignitas changing a player, which gives more ROI to Dignitas, which means Dignitas are more likely to want to keep a TF2 team, which then means that as well there's more orgs in there, and the same way that there's actually posts about LAN, so I-43, that's multiplayer getting a lot of ROI about their event, showing how good it is, means more people will come the next event, will watch the stream, stuff like that, which then also means that they're more likely to put money in for the next one. Without that, we might lose 50% of the viewership, which means that we might lose 50% of the prize funds, 50% of the LAN tournaments. So it's definitely worth having, guys. I know a lot of people don't like going on there, but it gives us a lot more exposure to other communities, to other organisations, and to other sponsors. How was that, DJ? Can't backhand that one?
I could rant for 2.5 minutes and make a bunch of lies too, Greg, but I have some self-respect, so...
I definitely don't want to write a thing every week, every day, even. I can barely write once. If I try and write it, I sit it down, I'll do one paragraph and go, I can't be arsed with this shit, and then go have to do some work or go play a Dota 2 game. More fun. Fuck writing.
You heard it here first, folks. Greg said fuck Cadre.
another TF2 institution Greg has killed.
First MG
wasn't enough.
MG, Cadrid, next up is Vanilla. Greg is gonna kill Vanilla with this podcast. It's coming. Jordan is gonna message Greg after this, you really shouldn't have let DJC rip on Comedian that much. That was pretty neat.
Comedians are refusing to do any work. We've got no streamers. I hope you're happy.
His PC is actually broken for the next week,
Nice. Next week on the podcast, we're just going to discuss how Comedian has rage resigned from Vanilla. And how there's nobody left to stream. I will get drunk live on air. I will celebrate. I will throw a little party.
Can we have a drunken podcast soon?
No,
Can we do
whatever.
Please.
A drunk special for Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas drunk special. We don't have to do it live. I think we should record
I'm not fucking
just
casting
chatting.
at Christmas. What the fuck is
No,
wrong
no,
with you?
not Christmas.
No,
you
like,
idiot.
Christmas morning, folks.
No.
Latest
Here's
TF2
the
news.
thing. I'm not fucking casting from the 25th through the 14th or whatever the fuck. Fuck you.
The fuck is you on
Not
about?
the 14th, actually, the 8th.
Okay, let's say on Wednesday night this week, it's 2 a.m. and you're smashed. Standard DJ.
No, we have matches this week. I'm not going to be drunk.
Okay, what days don't you have matches?
I don't know, actually. I don't actually know. Because I'm a drunk and I never pay attention.
Why don't we do it on Thursday after the final, so I can either drink myself into oblivion for losing, or enjoy a triumph.
Well, it's gonna be drinking yourself into oblivion for losing.
Even if we win, I'll be like, I played shit, didn't I?
You're gonna get fucking Vicuned. You're gonna get Vicuned and go 4-28 and just fucking get cut the next day, and it's gonna be hilarious. NVC.idk is gonna quickly turn into infuse.tt NVC after that game happens.
Oh god. I can't believe that the majority of the mumble is still here listening to us.
Apparently, I'm getting spammed more gossip. Apparently, someone else from Yayotech is going to get replaced. But
I sure hope it's Linus.
We don't know who. I can't find out who.
I sure expect it to be Linus.
I reckon they're going to cut Hat, He's
it
pulling his
probably
weight,
better be Linus. Wink wink the sucker, I know you're there.
Okay, I'm gonna place a bet. Mini Moose in for Linus.
Mini Moose is home for Christmas.
Yeah,
soon,
and I reckon
presumably.
he might try and stay. That's my bet.
If Yo-Yo-Tech really wants to fold, then I'm sure they'd love to pick up Mini Moose.
Let's pick up a player who can only play during Christmas and summer and see how it goes.
That'll be amazing.
Yeah, I'm just getting spammed by Longas telling me about the Origo Drozo news. You're late, Longas. Sorry, mate.
Longas.
Fight was right.
It's a shame we didn't get told that while we were in the middle of the podcast, because now it's not even going to be on the podcast.
People won't tell me as well. People are going to PM me telling me they know who's going to get cut, but they won't tell me a name, so I don't know what that's
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go. I don't even remember what their lineup is. The Sucker, Drozo,
Medic,
Hats, Tivik. I know Tivik hates playing Scout now. absolutely hates playing Scout.
No, it's not to Vic. I've just found out a class.
You found out a class?
Alright.
Can you announce the class?
I've just been
that's pretty
confirmed,
obvious.
and it's obvious. Yeah, once you know the class, it's obvious, and I've just had the person confirmed as well.
Is it going to be demo? Because I mean, that makes it very obvious.
It is the demo.
Oh,
can anyone guess who
Cadus?
might possibly? Oh! Ding, ding, ding! We have a winner.
Oh, that is a good move for them. In all honesty, Cadus is sick.
That's probably really good news for Mark Honeymustard because he gets to play demo again next season instead of medic.
Little fist pump and a victory apple for Mark there.
That is really good news for their team, actually. Hat, Cadus
You know what,
together
Zavi?
would be
Hold
sick.
up. I just got some new news, and you know what, Zavi?
Am I getting cut from some? Am I getting cut from a podcast? Is that
You're getting
what it
cut
is?
from the podcast. Could you just believe that fucking stupid troll, you goddamn idiot?
But Extreme
literally
never
have
trolls anyone.
Yeah, that definitely hasn't happened ever. You're so fucking stupid. Oh my
I was
god.
PM'd by like 4 different people.
Uh-huh.
I was.
Only one of them said Cyber's getting cut, right? And it was Extremer. And it was probably also Ryan and
Oh, my
Poop.
fire alarm's going off. Hold on.
Tactically pulls his fire alarm to get out of this situation.
So desperate.
Oh god, Extremer trolled me. Now I have to pull my fire alarm and pretend that my house burned down and that I died.
Okay, it's
And then in 2 months,
No,
Commander X is gonna come back with a voice changer and start playing pickups with like a really deep, awkward voice.
No, I was told the class by several people.
Name them.
By
Name every
several.
single.
Oh,
No,
they
we
asked
can-
not to be named.
Okay,
No,
so it's
fucking-
Poop, Extremer.
Poop didn't message me. Ryan didn't message me.
It's gonna be fucking Daleth. Daleth would troll you too.
Daleth's away. Daleth's away. He's not here.
Tactically away.
Just so everyone knows, we have a plan, another thing for after the podcast, which is Daleth Joke Corner. So he's not actually here this week, which is a shame. So he's got a couple of weeks in to prepare for his next joke. If those of you who know Daleth will know how stupidly funny it'll be.
Nobody knows Daleth because Daleth doesn't talk.
That's part of the joke. He's going to have to entertain us with a comical anecdote.
So should we call it here? Do you guys want to keep going?
We should have called it 15 minutes ago.
Mate, the podcast stopped. You could have fucked off, couldn't you? Go save your voice. So,
Yeah, but I could just sit here and
mate.
making fun of you instead, and it's much better. Why do you and Boomay and Crazy look exactly alike? You have the same dad.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but we don't.
Same mom, then?
No, sorry, mate.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, I'm going to go play some Dota 2. So I'd like to say thank you to everyone for joining us. I've actually enjoyed it. It's been good. Cheers, DJ, for coming while you've been a bit ill. Like, I don't know how you're feeling now after having
Threw up
rage. You
halfway
probably feel
through the
better.
cast. What do you fucking think? I messaged Greg in all caps and said AFK, sorry, and then went and vomited for about 5 minutes. It was great.
Indeed, and then thank you, of course, Zav, for joining us as usual, mate. Well, I'm sure we'll get some double mixes on the go a bit later for everyone that's in here that is the standard double mix crew. You know.
Please don't invite everyone from the cast because we get a load of retards. Sorry.
I said the standard double mix crew, man. Come on.
Okay, don't tell them my location. It's not an open invitation.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. It's a private mumble.
Exclusive club.
So anyway, I'm gonna go, and I will catch you guys later. Well, I think before I could do actually, I think next week, same sort of time, is probably looking good. I do like the Sunday at 23:30 or 22:30 timing. I don't know if anybody in chat would like to verify whether that's a good time for them, whether they think it's the right sort of time for this cast, etc., etc. And do give us feedback, of course. So, you know, fair enough, we're going to get feedback of good, all sorts. I mean, I think I was the only person that got bad feedback last week. Can you give some bad feedback to Commando? Just so I don't have to deal with it all.
I'm going to put my neck out on the line. I'm still not convinced I was trolled.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Well, Extremer told me that he literally made that shit up, so...
No, but Extreme wasn't... Let's see how this pans out. We'll see you next week, and we'll see. We'll see.
Commander X is making this up.
No.
He's literally manufacturing drama in his own head. So we have something to talk about next podcast.
I tried to burn down my own house to make it more dramatic. No.
Nobody would care, though.
We'll see what happens.
Your
We'll
house
see
would
what
go
happens.
up in a blaze of fucking marijuana smoke, and there would just be meth dust and ashes left over.
It's not my fault. What my? Let's
It
move
is.
on.
It's 100%
no.
your
What
fault.
what my housemates do? Is
You
it?
did a line of desk math. Come on.
You're never getting away from that one, Commando.
You scraped
Ever.
up all the fucking dirt and hair off your desk and the little bit
They
of meth
obviously
and then
took the
snorted
dirt
it.
and hair out. Ugh, I'm not a reason- I'm not an idiot.
Oh god. Oh, actually, one more thing as well. If people know of another way to record, like using Skype, do get in contact with me so we can try and get it maybe a better quality next week. A few people complained about Mumble being a bit of a shit quality. Fair enough, we will be on Mumble and Skype at the same time, but anyone knows how to record that shit, just let me know and we'll sort it out from there. And I'm actually going now, DJ, before you fucking make me